Good morning. This is Sen 7 World News in 7 minutes. I'm Stephen Devincenzi. Today is Wednesday, the 24th of June, 2026. Starting in Europe today, in the United Kingdom, it looks extremely likely that the next Prime Minister will be former Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, following Keir Starmer's resignation on Monday as leader of the Labour Party and Prime Minister. The only other Member of Parliament who had said that he was going to enter a leadership contest, Wes Streeting, the former Health Secretary, said that he had decided not to run and was supporting Andy Burnham instead. If no other candidate runs, then Burnham will become leader of the Labour Party and Prime Minister in early July. Nigel Farage, the leader of the right-wing populist Reform Party, which is currently leading most opinion polls, said that there should be a general election.
And we're about to get our sixth Prime Minister in 7 years, which is sort of Italian-style fast politics going back a few decades. And whoever becomes the Prime Minister will not have been voted for by the British public. And if the next Prime Minister is the new MP for Makerfield, Andy Burnham, he didn't even stand at the last election on any manifesto at all. And I really do think that my call for there to be a general election as soon as is possible, I think you'll find a lot of support for that.
Also in the United Kingdom, yesterday was the 10th anniversary of the UK voting to leave the European Union. After the result of the referendum was announced, exactly 10 years ago today, Prime Minister David Cameron resigned, starting a 10-year period in which 6 Prime Ministers have resigned, finishing with Keir Starmer this week. Most opinion polls today show that most people in the UK would like to rejoin the European Union, with the average of opinion polls showing around 55% of people saying that they would like to rejoin, and only around 35% of people saying that they want to stay out, with about 10% not sure. Across Europe, a heatwave is continuing. In France, many schools have closed and trains have been cancelled. The Eiffel Tower closed early yesterday because of the heat, and officials have said that the same may happen over the next few days. Between Monday and yesterday, France had its hottest ever night since records began in 1947. The average nighttime temperature recorded across 30 weather stations was 21.6 degrees. Asia. In Lebanon, a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah has mostly been holding, various reports have said. Iranian negotiators have said that this fall in fighting has allowed negotiations with the US to continue. The United States has waived sanctions on Iran for 60 days. US Vice President J.D. Vance, who has been conducting negotiations in Switzerland, said that Iran had agreed to allow United States inspectors to monitor its nuclear program. Iraq is preparing to export crude oil through ports on Syria's Mediterranean coast, according to Iraqi and Syrian energy officials. This is a response to Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, through which most Iraqi oil previously travelled. Israel has committed genocide in Gaza, according to a United Nations inquiry report released yesterday. The report by the United Nations International Commission of Inquiry on the Occupied Palestinian Territory said that Israeli security forces had deliberately targeted Palestinian children during the war in Gaza, which started on October the 7th, 2023, when Hamas and other groups crossed into Israel and killed 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and took 250 people as hostages, including children. Another United Nations report released in September also said that Israel had committed genocide in Gaza, giving examples such as mass killings, blocking aid, and forced displacement. Africa. In Kenya, Health Minister Aden Duale has said that he has ordered for the construction of a US Ebola quarantine centre to be stopped in order to comply with a court order. There have been large protests against the construction of the centre over the last few weeks. In Nigeria, police in the Central Plateau state have said that 20 people were killed in an attack on a community. The police said that they had engaged the attackers in a fierce gun battle before the attackers escaped. North America is also experiencing a heatwave, with temperatures expected to continue to rise this week. New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani has signed an executive order aimed to protect people who work outside.
More than 1.4 million New Yorkers, a third of our city's workforce, work outside for extended periods of time. Without paid breaks or easy access to restrooms, these workers have a higher risk of heat exhaustion, heat stroke, dehydration, and serious diseases like liver failure and kidney disease. Every year, more than 500 people in our city lose their lives due to the heat. And as climate change accelerates, summers are only growing hotter and more dangerous.
In Chile, 3 men have been sentenced to 15 years in prison for their role in a targeted killing in the United States in 1976. The 3 men were part of dictator Augusto Pinochet's secret police and were found guilty of detonating a car bomb in Washington, D.C., which killed Orlando Letelier, who was a socialist and a minister in the government of President Salvador Allende. The bomb also killed the US socialist activist Ronnie Moffett. 2 of the 3 men were already in prison for other human rights crimes. And Argentinian footballer Lionel Messi has become the highest scoring footballer in the history of the World Cup. After scoring 2 goals against Austria, he has now scored a total of 18 goals at 6 World Cups, starting in 2006. French player Kylian Mbappe is now joint second with 16 goals, despite only having played in 3 World Cups. A big thank you to Borja in Spain for becoming our newest supporter. Our amazing supporters like Borja keep this podcast running, and they have access to all of our transcripts, vocabulary lists, worksheets, and world news quizzes. And we give 10% of our profit to extremely effective charities. More information at send7.org. Tomorrow you will be with Ben Mallet. Have a great day.